Beneath every footstep, something ancient listens, a heartbeat older than time itself, steady and patient, echoing through layers of stone and root. This is the voice of the earth, low, rhythmic, unhurried, calling you home. The high priestess stands upon the soil, her bare feet pressed into the living ground, eyes closed as if hearing something sacred that most have forgotten. Come closer, she murmurs, her voice a vibration more than a sound. The earth remembers you. The air is thick with the scent of moss and rain. You can almost feel the pulse beneath you, a deep, resonant hum that rises through your legs, your spine, your chest, until it finds the quiet center of your heart. It is not a sound you hear with your ears. It is one your body recognizes, the rhythm that first taught your soul to trust. Earth is the foundation of all creation, the structure upon which fire dances, water flows, and air drifts. It is the steady hand beneath the world's movement, the promise that while everything changes, something endures. The mountains do not rush, the soil does not hurry. In their patience lies power. The high priestess kneels and places her palm against the soil. This ground beneath you, she says, is not just matter, it is memory. Every leaf that has fallen, every creature that has lived, every prayer that has ever been whispered, all of it returns here. The earth keeps nothing wasted, nothing forgotten. She motions for you to do the same. When your hand touches the soil, a warmth spreads through your palm, slow, grounding, alive. It feels like being held not by something separate, but by something that has always been part of you. For a moment, all the noise inside your mind quiets, and you remember what it means to belong. Listen, the priestess continues. This is not the call to stand still. It is the call to be present. The earth does not ask for worship. It asks for awareness, to walk gently, to breathe with purpose, to build with care, to remember that stability is not confinement. It is freedom born from trust. She stands and begins to drum softly, slow, steady, like a heartbeat. With each beat, you feel your breath deepen, your thoughts soften, your body settle into calm. The sound merges with the pulse beneath the ground, sinking you to the rhythm of something eternal. The high priestess smiles faintly. When you feel lost, she says, remember this pulse. It lives within you as surely as it lives beneath you. To walk the path of earth is to move with this rhythm, deliberate, certain, unwavering. The drumbeat fades. The forest exhales. You stand in the stillness, aware of the sacred life holding you from below. The earth does not speak in words, but you understand her message completely. Before life began to bloom, before the rivers learned to sing, the world was a restless fire. Chaos churned in molten seas, and the sky had yet to form its face. Then, stillness. A cooling breath swept across the cosmos, and from the heart of that silence, the first stones were born. They were the bones of the earth, glowing with memory, heavy with intention. From their depths came the promise of form, of weight, of structure, of something that could endure. The high priestess kneels before a bed of black stone, streaked with veins of gold. Her hand moves over it tenderly, as one might touch an elder's skin. This is the earth's first song, she whispers. A hymn of patience. When the fire of creation cooled, she took her first breath, and that breath hardened into mountains. She tells the story of the earth's birth as though she were there to witness it, of the molten fire that cooled into soil, of the stars that fell and became the minerals we hold in our bones, of how the planet's heart still burns, yet wraps itself in layers of stone to protect the life it would one day cradle. From chaos, she built order, the priestess says. From fury, she shapes stability. That is the first lesson of Earth. Power does not always roar. Sometimes it settles. You listen, and the image forms vividly in your mind. Continents rising like great beasts from the sea. their bodies forming the foundation for forests yet to come. Volcanoes exhaling their molten prayers, cooling into fertile ground, time itself slow into the rhythm of growth. Patient and deliberate, the high priestess closes her eyes, her palm pressed against the soil. Every stone beneath your feet has known fire. Every mountain carries memory. The same minerals that shape this world shape your blood, your bones, your heartbeat. You are not walking on the earth, she says. You are walking with it. Her words settle deep within you, heavy and grounding. You begin to understand the sacred intimacy between your body and the land, the exchange of breath and mineral, the way your cells and the soil are part of the same eternal conversation. To honor earth is to honor endurance, the strength to hold, the wisdom to wait. When fire rages, earth remains. When wind howls, earth listens. When water carves, earth transforms. She is not the absence of change, but its container. The high priestess opens her eyes and smiles faintly. Remember, she says, you, too, were forged in the fires of becoming. Every scar, every lesson, every fallen rise has made you stronger, denser, wiser. You are stone and soil, unshakable, sacred, alive. A breeze passes, stirring dust and petals alike, and for a moment, the air smells of iron and rain. The ground beneath you hums, ancient and aware. The bones of the earth remember you, and now you remember them. Beneath the surface of every forest, every field, every garden, there is a vast, invisible world, a whispering network of roots, woven together in a web of life and memory. It is here that the true language of the earth is spoken, not in words or sound, but in vibration, in nourishment, in silent communion. The high priestess kneels and presses her hand to the ground. Listen, she says, the roots are speaking. You close your eyes, and beneath the hum of the wind and the slow rhythm of your breath, you begin to hear it too, the faint pulse of communication flowing beneath the soil. It sounds like a heartbeat slowed by patience, a language older than speech, where everything is connected and nothing stands alone. Roots, she whispers, teach us how to belong. They are the earth's memory, the threads that tie every being to the great fabric of existence. A single root may seem small, but beneath the surface, it stretches, branches, joins with others, forming a vast intelligence of life. What one tree learns, the others feel. What one plant suffers, the others sense. Connection. That is the wisdom of earth. The high priestess begins to draw a spiral in the soil with her finger. Humans forget this, she says. They wander, they float, they seek meaning above, forgetting that truth waits below. To be rootless is to be lost in your own creation. To be grounded is to remember your place and the pattern. You feel her words settle deep into you. How often have you drifted, chasing, striving, forgetting the solid presence beneath your feet? The earth has always been waiting, patient, unchanged. When you return to it, you return to yourself. Roots do not cling, she continues. They anchor, they do not bind, they hold. And in holding, they allow the tree to rise higher, to reach for light without fear of falling. She looks at you with eyes like rich soil. So too must you root into your body, your truth, your present moment. Without grounding, dreams have no soil in which to grow. She invites you to kneel beside her, to place your palms flat against the earth. Now, she says, breathe into the ground, feel the gravity drawing you closer, not to confine you, but to steady you as you exhale. You imagine invisible roots growing from your palms, from your feet, reaching deep into the dark soil. They move slowly, curiously, until they find the pulse beneath the living heartbeat of the earth. A warmth rises through them, up your legs, through your spine, into your chest. It is not imagined. It is real energy, presence, belonging. This, the high priestess says. Her voice, low and reverent, is the language of roots. It says, I am here. I am held. I am connected. Whenever you forget, speak these words. Whenever you feel unsteady, listen beneath the noise. The earth will answer. You stay like that for a moment longer, the roots of your soul entwined with hers, your breath moving in time with the world's. Above, the wind stirs the trees, and below, the earth hums back in acknowledgement. The conversation continues, wordless, eternal, alive. Topic 5. The shadow of stillness. The earth teaches patience, endurance, and rest. But even her gifts cast shadows. For what is stillness, when misunderstood, can harden into stagnation? What begins as grounding can become avoidance? What feels like safety can turn into fear of change? The high priestess stands before a wide, silent plain, her face half lit by the fading sun. Every strength, she says, has its shadow. Even the mountain must learn when to crumble, so that new life may grow from its dust. She kneels and touches the cracked soil. The shadow of earth, she continues, is a refusal to move. The words are gentle, but they strike something deep within you. She traces a line in the dust. When we cling too tightly to what we know, we confuse security with confinement. The same soil that nourishes can also suffocate when it is not turned, when it is not breathed upon by wind and light. You feel her words stir something in your chest, a recognition of all the times you have resisted change, even when your spirit longed to grow. Stability became armor. Routine became ritual turned rigid. Stillness, sacred in moderation, can become heavy when it forgets the rhythm of life. Earth's gift is presence, the priestess says, but her lesson is impermanence. She looks toward the mountains. True grounding is not stillness without motion. It is stillness within motion, to be firm without being fixed. She lifts a handful of dust and lets it fall through her fingers. The mountain teaches pride, but the valley teaches humility. To grow, one must be both. The air around you changes the kind of silence that feels alive. The shadow comes only when that breath is held too long, when comfort becomes cage and fear disguises itself as contentment. The high priestess turns her gaze towards you, eyes soft with compassion. If you have been afraid to move, she says, it is not weakness. It is the soul's instinct to protect what it has built. But the earth does not stay still forever. She shifts, she steps closer and presses her palm to your heart. When you feel yourself resisting change, she whispers, ask, am I rooted or am I stuck? One feeds life, the other starves it. The difference is movement. You breathe in deeply, feeling the weight of her words. Beneath your feet, the earth hums again, not with stillness, but with slow, deliberate motion. The shadow is not your enemy, she says. It is the teacher that reveals balance. The moment you learn to move gently within your stillness, the shadow dissolves, and you become the calm center of the world's turning. The last rays of sunlight fade, and the first stars appear, still, but never static. The earth breathes, and so do you. Topic 6. Yet beneath every forest, every field, and every mountain, there is constant transformation. Seeds splitting open in darkness, roots pushing through stone, minerals shifting, fusing, renewing. The earth teaches that creation does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, wait. The high priestess walks through a meadow. This, she says, is the alchemy of earth's transformation through patience. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. Even decay becomes nourishment. She kneels beside a patch of soil and brushes it aside. revealing the white tip of a sprouting seed. The seed, she says, must surrender to darkness before it reaches the sun. It is buried, unseen. Her words settle into you like rain into thirsty ground. You begin to understand the seasons of waiting, of uncertainty, of slow progress are not punishments. They are sacred intervals of becoming. The seed does not question when it will bloom. It simply listens to the rhythm of the earth, to the pull of the roots below, and the warmth of the light above. The magic is not only fire and change, it is the patience to let the invisible do its work. The earth grows by surrender, not by force. She stands and looks at you. You, too, are a garden. Every dream you plant, every lesson you learn, every silence you endure, these are seeds within your soul. Some will sprout quickly, others will rest through many. When you wish for change, remember to nurture what is unseen. Feed it with rest, water it with consistency, trust the slow alchemy of time. The earth never rushes, yet everything she dreams eventually comes to life. Close your eyes, feel your breath move deep into your belly, grounding you. With each inhale, the body becomes the garden, the breath becomes the season, and the soul becomes the seed. Patient, powerful, inevitable, the high priestess speaks again, her voice low and melodic. Growth is not linear. It spirals like vines around a tree. It returns to what it left behind, but never as it was before. The path of earth is not progress, it is even. You do not climb toward enlightenment. You realize the truth of her words, that growth is not something you chase. It is something that unfolds through you when you stop resisting the natural rhythm of your becoming. The priestess smiles, her eyes full of knowing. The earth grows, she says, because she trusts her cycles. Do the same. Topic 7. The guided earth ritual. The high priestess stands at the center of a quiet clearing, the soil soft beneath her bare feet. Around her, stones form a perfect circle, each one gathered with reverence. The scent of cedar and sage fills the air, and the low hum of the wind through the trees becomes the breath of the world itself. She raises her hand and gestures for you to step inside. Now, with each inhale, imagine drawing in the scent of earth, damp, rich, ancient. With each exhale, release the noise of the mind, the chatter, the worry, the weight. Let it fall away like dry leaves. Continue until all that remains is your breath and the steady rhythm of your heart. Now, feel the soles of your feet. Imagine them opening. Now they spiral downward, slow and strong, pushing gently through layers of stone and clay. You can feel their movement, the coolness of the earth wrapping around them, the subtle pulse of life deep below. Let your roots travel far, the high priestess whispers. Let them seek the heartbeat of the world. They move deeper still, past rock, past silence. You can feel it now. A golden current of energy rising from below, flowing through your roots and up into your legs, your hips, your spine, your heart. This is grounding in its truest form, emerging not of body and soil, but of spirit and source. As this warmth fills you, you sense your energy settling, not heavy, but the high priestess circles you slowly, sprinkling salt and herbs into the earth. This, she says, is the sacred exchange to take and to give in balance. The earth supports you. Ending return, you honor her with awareness. Now, in your mind, bring forth an intention, something you wish to manifest, something that needs roots to grow. Speak it silently into the earth receives it willingly, promising to nurture it in her own time. Trust the soil, the priestess murmurs. What you plant in truth will bloom when it is ready. She kneels before you and places her palm on the ground. Now, seal your roots. With her words, you feel the energy beneath you settle, your roots holding firm but fluid. You are not bound, you are balanced. Take 3 slow, whisper softly, I am rooted. I am held. I am part of the living earth. When you open your eyes, the world looks sharper, steadier, more alive. The ground beneath you is not separate. It moves with your breath, supports your weight, listens to your steps. The high priestess smiles knowingly. The ritual is complete, she says. But remember, grounding is beneath your feet. The roots hum in agreement. Topic 8. The Keeper of Balance. The high priestess stands before a great oak, its trunk wide and unshakable, its branches reaching toward the light. This tree, she says, is the image of balance, roots deep in darkness, arms open to the sky. It does not choose between earth and air. The path of earth, she continues, is not about stillness alone, nor endless motion. It is a dance between the two, between giving and receiving, rest and creation, effort and ease. To live as the earth does is to live in rhythm. You close your eyes and feel this truth settling into your breath. The inhale and exhale mirror the turning of the seasons, expansion. It is listening to when the soil of your soul needs water and when it needs rest. Too much doing, the priestess says, and the soil becomes dry. Too much dreaming, and the roots forget to grow. The secret is in the tending. She invites you to sit beside her at the base of the oak. The ground is cool, soft with fallen leaves. Everything in nature, she whispers, moves in cycles, even you. The earth does not. She begins to draw a circle in the dirt, half shaded, half bright. In every moment, balance asks a question. Where is your energy flowing? If you give too much, the soil of your spirit becomes barren. If you take too much, the roots of others weaken. The witch's way, the earth's way, is reciprocity. You feel how far you've drifted from the rhythm of the land and how much your body longs to return to it. The high priestess looks at you gently. To keep balance, you must remember that rest is not retreat, it is renewal. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Even the mountain sleeps beneath the snow, gathering strength for spring. She places a small stone in your palm, warm from her touch. Feel the weight. Let it bring you back. Balance is not found in control, but in connection between body and breath, heart and earth. Giving in grace, you take a deep breath, feeling the pull of gravity anchor you again. Your body feels heavy in the most peaceful way, solid, present, complete. The priestess smiles, her gaze soft yet certain. You are the keeper of balance. When you rest, the world breathes easier. Never doubt the power of your stillness. Above you, leaves rustle in the wind, not in conflict, but in harmony. You feel it in your bones. Balance is not something you must seek. It is something you become when you remember your rhythm. The high priestess closes her eyes and whispers, I am the root, and the oak comes in agreement. Its voice a vibration you can feel through the ground, deep, slow, eternal. Topic 9. The gift of belonging. The high priestess walks through a field at dusk, her hands brushing the tops of tall grasses that sway like waves of gold. The air is full of the scent of warm soil and fading sunlight. This, she says softly, is the gift the earth offers freely. The land does not ask you who you are. It already knows. She turns to you, her eyes reflecting the horizon. Humans have forgotten what it means to belong, she says. They chase connection, yet they are never still long enough to feel it. They look upward for meaning when it has always lived beneath their feet. Every blade of grass, every pebble, every grain of dirt carries awareness, the memory of life that has passed and life still to come. The earth is not something you stand upon. It is something you stand within. The high priestess kneels and places both hands on the ground. Belonging, she whispers, is not ownership. It is relationship. You do not possess. You kneel beside her, mirroring the gesture. The soil beneath your fingers is cool, textured, real. You realize how long it has been since you allowed yourself to feel something so simple, so grounding. In that contact, something opens, a quiet recognition that you have never been separate, only distracted. The earth, the priestess continues, remembers, and yet she carries no resentment, only memory and forgiveness. You look around the vastness of the field, the hum of insects, the wind's slow psalm. The realization comes gently. You are part of this, not above, not apart. Part, you belong, not because you have earned it, but because you exist. The priestess smiles as she sees under every heartbeat, every gust of wind, every rustle of leaves reminds you you are never alone. You are held by a web older than time. She stands and extends her hand to help you rise. The world may try to convince you otherwise, she says, but the soil will always call you back. When you lose your way, walk barefoot, touch bark, sit upon the ground, let the earth remind you. The scent of grass and stone fills your lungs, and your body relaxes completely. The tension you didn't know you carried melts away. This is the gift of belonging, the high priestess whispers. It does not come from finding your place. It comes from realizing you never left it. She bows her head, hands still resting on the soil. As the last light fades, you feel her truth settle into your bones. Belonging is not something you seek outside yourself. It is the pulse of the earth, remembering your name. Topic 10. The mountain within the night deepens, and the stars awaken one by one above the horizon. The high priestess stands before you, her silhouette outlined against the dark curve of her voice carries both reverence and strength. The mountain is not just stone in silence. It is the spirit of endurance, of clarity, of unshakable presence. It rises not to dominate, but to remember its own height. She walks toward the mountain and places her palm against the rock. The mountain does not rush, she whispers. It does not. Every ridge, every scar, every fault line tells the story of persistence. You are the same. You approach and touch the stone beside her. It is cool beneath your hand, solid, ancient, unyielding. The vibration you feel is not lifeless. It hums with quiet awareness, as if the mountain itself is breathing. This, the priestess says. She turns to you, eyes luminous in the starlight. You have flowed with water, burned with fire, drifted with air, but without earth, those elements scatter. You are the container, the altar, the sacred shape that gives form to their dance. A wind sweeps across the stone, carrying whispers from far below. The song of the valleys, the memory of rain, the sigh of roots buried deep. The mountain listens to all, she says. It holds the stories of the world, yet never loses itself. You, too, can hold without breaking. She steps closer and places her hand over your heart. Feel it, she says. The mountain within is not made of to know your center so deeply that even when the ground shifts, you do not crumble. You breathe in deeply, and for a moment, you feel it, the weight and grace of your own solidity. The quiet strength that does not need to announce itself, the resilience that has carried you through storms, the sacred endurance of being alive. The mountain, the priestess continues, rises slowly. That is how you grow. You do not rush to the peak, you become it. The stars above shimmer like ancient witnesses. The air is cool, the earth silent, except for its low, eternal hum. You realize now that the mountain is not before you, it is within you, as constant as breath, as sacred as the soil beneath your feet. The high priestess lowers her hand. The circle of earth, carry this stillness with you. Let it anchor you when the world trembles. Let it remind you that your foundation is divine. You stand in the quiet strength of that truth. The mountain spirit rises within you, vast and peaceful. You whisper the final invocation. I am stone and soil, patient and strong. I rise in silence. I endure in grace. The mountain within me will never fall. The high priestess bows her head. The ritual ends, she says, but your roots remain. The mountain exhales. The earth listens, and within you, the world is steady.